Hey there, welcome back to my channel, and we're back for another Movement Monday. Scott here from Walsh Performance. This is actually a good Movement Monday. I'm going to be covering the push-up. And this was a question that was asked to me to cover by a man named Isaac on Instagram. His account is Izonme. Correct me if I pronounced that wrong, but I may have. So if you want to take a moment and follow him, see what he's up to, by all means. But again, thank you very much for the question, Isaac. So we're going to cover that now. Right before we start though, every month there is one lucky winner. I give away 30 days free access to the Walsh Performance VIP members area. So if you want to participate, below this YouTube video, so below the YouTube video, comment #99, and at the end of the month, I'll select one lucky winner. And I'll do this at random at the end of every month. So keep an eye out for that and I'll notify you if you do win. Anyways, moving on. So we're going to cover the push-up. So a couple of really, well, first and foremost, the push-up is a wonderful exercise, right? But a lot of people really mess it up. So I'm going to cover a few key tips. And the first tip being is typically when I see people push up, this is what they do. They flare the elbows out so wide that they put a lot of the focus on the shoulders instead of what our true aim is, well, it's a full body exercise, but primarily the chest, right? So one quick, easy way to avoid that from doing these wide push-ups, which can put a lot of pressure on the shoulder, is tuck the elbows down slightly. So about say 45 degrees instead of that 90-degree bend. So come down about 45 degrees. And that way, when you're doing the push-up, you can see already, see if I'm pushing up here, there's a lot of focus on the shoulder, and I'm kind of exaggerating, but when you tuck the elbows down slightly, or in closer to your sides, not too close, but just say a slight flare, you're gonna get more of the focus on the chest, right? And it becomes more of that full body exercise instead of primarily just putting the pressure on the shoulder itself, right? Now, number two would be, and I'll show you from a side view. So when you're doing the push-up itself, and I'm kind of sitting down here, a lot of people, when they do the push-up, they'll bring their hands up really high, and they're putting a lot of pressure here. We want to avoid that, right? So you want to bring the hands down slightly. You want to focus on having that 90-degree bend in the elbow. So when you're doing the push-up again, so you see that when you're doing the push-up, it puts a lot of that focus on the chest, right? So when you're doing the push-up itself, the elbow in line with the wrist. We don't want to flare the elbow out when you're coming down on the push-up because that's going to put a lot of pressure, undue pressure, which you don't need, right? So remember, slight flare in the elbow, and then the elbow is going to just come, like the elbow is going to come back slightly. So you got a 90-degree bend. That'll put more of the focus on the chest, right? Number three. So number three would be a lot of, same thing again. So hand position. So the hand position in the push-up, we don't want to come out like so, because again, we're starting to flare the elbows out too wide, right? We want to keep those elbows down slightly. You want to have that about that 45-degree angle, and then the elbow coming right behind the palm here, right? See that? Now, the last one is the hand position. So again, we don't want to have our hands out like so, because when you're focusing on this movement pattern, you're creating a longer distance and you're putting a lot of pressure, especially on the palms and everything when you're doing this. So again, turn the palms out slightly like so in a more optimal position. That way it'll shorten the distance and you can put that focus right on the chest again as well. So instead of this, and I'm exaggerating again, so instead of this, putting all the pressure on the shoulder, we tuck it in and then you get more of that focus on the chest as well, right? So too close, I mean, if you go fairly close, you can put more of a focus on the tricep. But just kind of keep that slight flare as well in the elbows. So we're coming back. You got that 90-degree bend when you're coming up. So the hands aren't up too high, that 90-degree bend. And then the palms are not turn out like so. You turn them in slightly like that just to kind of create that same pattern. It's that same path, right? So push, slight flare. It's hard to show right here on video, but I have the microphone in, so it's kind of hard for me to get on the floor and show you here. I would need a better camera, which I'll shoot for in future videos. So those are a couple of good tips. Now, one bonus tip as well. So one bonus tip would be to brace the abdominals, button abdominals. So you don't want to exaggerate. You see when people do push-up, they'll exaggerate that lower back flare. So when they're pushing up, it's like they're coming up like so, doing the push-up. You want to brace, stomach and butt tight, right? So tight, squeeze, pretend like somebody was gonna hit you in the stomach and you brace tight, right? When you're doing push-ups. So brace the abdominals and butt, and that way you have a nice, strong, stable position, right? There's not too much arch in your lower back. And it's creating, like, the more kind of tension you create through the whole body, the better that's gonna help improve your strength within the workout as well, right? So keep that in mind. So 4 really great tips for the push-up. Again, thank you very much for the question, Isaac. I hope I answered it for you. For anybody watching, make sure you tune in. Every Monday, I have a Movement Monday where I cover a different exercise. If you want me to cover any exercise in the future, just shoot me a message and let me know. Again, if you want to take part in the contest, comment #99 below. Thank you for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon.